I would have no problem if something, you know, if it's a spirit. Of course, I would prefer certain things not to, but yeah, they're more than welcome to come to my house. My children have grown up in this environment. They don't fear any of it. You know, and you know that as well. It's like him and me, we'd head out 20 years ago and see the kids off, and the kids would come see us off and stuff. So they've grown up in an environment. I'll drive home sometimes at 9, 10 o'clock at night. My lights are all off, and all I see are flashlights. And what it is, it's my twin sons walking around with their 12-year-old sister, and they're investigating the house and trying to figure out what's going on. So they have fun. They've grown up to never fear these things, and I think that's really important.
I've stayed at Jay's house. God help anything that follows him home. His kids will destroy it.
I remember Satori, your youngest daughter, she used to give me little toys to like protect me as I went out to investigate with her dad. She gave me a little warthog once. She must have been a year old or something, a year and a half. She's like, here, this is to protect you when you go out and hunt monsters with my dad. I said, thank you. But when I came back the next day, she asked for it back. She's like, where's my toy?
He's not telling the whole story. She actually gave him the toy.
Oh, yeah.
And he gave her money for it. It was like a couple bucks. So the next day he came back. Well, yeah, a couple days later he came back. She asked where her toy was. He was like, oh, sorry. He had to go out to his car and grab it and everything. Yeah. Brought it in. She gave her back the toy, and she wouldn't give him back the money.
I was like, where's my money? She's like, I don't know. So that's my dad.
You know what? But hey,
so it was a rental.
Yeah,
no, I rented her warthog.
Satori's a good businesswoman, but Haley, who's in college now, and you guys have all seen her on the show. She's great, a great kid. It's really smart. I still have pictures and home video. Steve, he'd get off the police force, drive, come to Rhode Island. He'd be sitting on my back porch, have Haley on his lap, lighting off fire salutes with Haley on his, and bottle rockets and everything and stuff. Even though they were illegal, and he's a cop, so.
I probably should, now looking back, here I am with this little girl on my lap, and she's got fireworks in her hands.
Holding bottle rockets.
Yeah, I won't even do that now, and I'm 36. And she's probably 10 at the time. Sorry
no, she was younger than that, my God.
She must have been 5. Maybe.
Yeah.
What a shame. I'm a bad influence.
Yeah, you are.
So, I know you guys are both on the Travel Channel.
I mean, it's easy to see why people would be skeptical of some of the things that happen or whatever. How do you guys respond to that? Criticisms that, what's happening isn't real? Or, well, why didn't I hear that? Because, you said you heard it. Why didn't we? How do you respond to stuff like that?
Honestly, I don't. I'm just doing what we've done for 20 plus years. And, if somebody wants to sit there and be, tear apart whatever we catch, hey, to each their own. I don't have time to deal with them. I'm just trying to do what we're doing, and we're going to keep on doing it. So, I think, especially when you have to be skeptical in this field. You have to be, because if not, you're willing to assume anything's paranormal. But instead of being skeptical and, let's be honest, a dick about it, be skeptical and meet us in the middle. Let's work together to figure this out. Let's not, throw stones at each other. And, if we can figure this out together, then we've accomplished something. So.
I kind of encourage that sort of, because we've always been skeptics, and myself anyway, I don't believe it unless I see it. I trust these guys with my life, but even if Tango or Jay come up to me and say, I just saw this apparition, and I have to see it for me, because it's so, it's a hard thing to grasp, that you can see these things, and I encourage that, unless you see it or hear it, you should raise an eyebrow.
Like you said, it's healthy.
Yeah.
It's good.
You're going to have a Ghost Hunters Academy again?
Ghost Hunters Academy, are we going to have another one? Someday, maybe. I don't know. It's up to this guy here and the production company. But I think if we find a nice time where we can film both shows at the same time.
Yeah.
You and me were together on a case a couple weeks ago. Found ourselves on an Indian mound that
it was cursed.
We didn't even know. We were told after, hey, that's cursed, right? People who stand on it are supposed to die. Really? Hey, Britt, go investigate over there.
That's exactly what happened.
I think that is what happened.
Yeah, that is what happened.
And he didn't tell me about the curse either.
No, wow.
I stayed away.
We're all still alive.
Yeah.
Today.
Hi guys, you have got a lot of compelling evidence via the thermal cam.
but you don't seem to use it an awful lot anymore. I was just wondering as to why.
We do.
We do. You got to remember that when you're watching an investigation, you're watching something that is going on for multiple days. And, you know, we're showing up at this place at 4 or 5 in the afternoon. We're not leaving till 4 or 5 in the morning sometimes. So there's so many days of this, and production's trying to piece it together in 43 minutes, because you got 17 minutes of commercials in any average show. So they're only able to put so much into it. So they'll usually show you the thermal if we catch something. I wish that they had shown the thermal at Camp Rutledge, because we did use it. We were in the woods.
We drove around too.
We drove around with the thermal at one point just because we were trying to get animals.
On a golf cart.
Yeah, that's right. On a golf cart. Yeah. So
a lot of times we set it up stationary as well and just use it as one of our cameras. It doesn't always get used handheld. We may set it up, but on every single case we use it. Sometimes we even use 2.
Yeah, we got 2. Yeah. So.
Bottom line, when you guys are watching this show and you get mad at us and go, why didn't they do this? We did. It's just on the editing room floor.
Part of the fun of watching the show is watching the interaction between all you guys. And I was wondering what the craziest thing Dave and Steve ever bet on. Did Dave do it, and did Steve pay off?
The craziest thing that Tango and I ever bet on. Well, this didn't make it to the show, but one time there was a pretty raging river, and there's a tree going over the river, and I bet Tango that he couldn't crawl across it to the other side. And I was going to give him $100, and I thought he would say absolutely not. But before I could even breathe, he had his shoes off. He was up on top of the tree, ready to climb across it, and I had to stop him. I was like, Tango, I can't let you do this because you're going to die. You know, I can't. But he was ready to kill you. His dad would have came after me. I get him to eat a lot of gross things. I try to get him to eat a handful of flies.
No,
one case. But then after the fact, he's like, "Would you really give me $200?" All right, let's go do it. I'm like, Tango, no, it's over.
Peer pressure. Everyone was like, I would have done it. I would have done it. Like, oh.
All these flies.
Though. They're like flies that were in a trap that had been there for years.
That's not Washington, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what kind of chemicals killed them, you know?
Thank you, sorry.
I don't want to do it.
You act like you're broke. You really do.
Jason. Oops, sorry.
Wow.
I know you. What's your opinion on the psychics? I mean, do you totally disagree with all of them? Do you think some of them are legit? I mean, there are fakes out there, but you know what I mean?
I'm a believer. I believe that there are psychics out there. Long before TAPS and everything else, I actually worked with a college for a couple of years testing people who believed that they were sensitive, they were psychic. I like the word sensitive because if you say psychic, you should have 1-900 number attached to you. So, and out of that, we tested 860 some odd people who believed that they were sensitive, and it was 2% of them tested, you know, over the 50 percentile. So I'm a believer. I just believe that 90% of the people out there who believe they are, sorry, they're not. Let's just be honest.
One of my problems with the psychic community and the people that claim to be sensitive and psychic is you have a lot of, actually every single one I've ever encountered, and I challenge them with this every time they come up to me, is they say, okay, you can read me or talk to me about this, but you can't ask me any questions. And they'll say, oh, then I can't do it. You're not open to it. And if you truly have some sort of spirit guide or some sort of imagery or voice that's telling you these things, what do you need to ask me questions for, you know? Or you say, okay, but I'm going to turn my back to you. And they're like, oh, you're not open to it. You can't be read. And it's like, well, then why do you have to look at me? You know, you should be just getting this information. It's because they have to read your facial expressions. They have to do all this.
Cold reading.
I just find it interesting. Okay, you can tell me anything you want about myself, but you can't ask me any questions, and there's not one I've met that will do it, which is strange to me.
Well, and we don't hate psychics by any means, and if you're psychic, I guess you already knew that. So, but anyways,